Hello everyone. We will begin in just a second. I'm a little bit late. But I'm here now. I hope everyone can hear me. But it should be working. So 1 second and we begin. Okay, let's begin. So welcome everyone to another stream. Today we'll be talking about Korean big BL heaters. I'm not saying those three are the most popular on Korean market or manhwas, but they are very popular. And one of the proofs of that is that we have them in print, basically. On the left, we have the Dangerous Convenience Store. Then in the middle, we have No Love Zone. And the one on the right is Perfect Body. But before that, before digging deeper into the story overview of mangas, let's start with our tradition, which is a recommendation of the day. So today I have another title for all of you, which is Dawn of the Dragon. And this is, the story is about the Yo family, although I'll be butchering those names. I think Japanese ones are a little bit easier to pronounce, but here today we will have a lot of Korean names and surnames, because Yo family is a surname basically. So this family was blessed by a dragon for centuries, and this blessing started to fade. And to keep on receiving the blessing from the dragon, they want to offer the daughter as a bride. They have son and daughter. Son is a little older than the sister. And obviously they ask the sister, but big brother jumps in and say, no, we won't do it, we won't allow it. So he will sacrifice himself for the cause, to keep on being blessed by the dragon. So basically winning the favor, because the blessing manifested in riches. So they were very successful. They had very successful company, because we kick off this story in a modern era. Although as we go further, there will be a little, maybe not a little, there will be a full arc of backstory. So fantasy, reincarnation, bonding of souls. I really like this one. And bottom is Yo Tahyuk. He's the bottom one. And in the ancient times, he was a noble. And the dragon is Hyo Yun, which is much easier to pronounce. And in ancient times, he was a freshly born dragon, a child. So you will have to find out what happened there and how they end up together. But this one is also very, very popular. And touching onto Korean mangas, manhwas, boys' loves, I would say they are much more accurate. I'm overstretching this, and I will explain why in a second, in terms of male physics. So even in those three titles which you see in front, bottom, Neko, isn't very feminine-like. Although the size difference is visible, but it's not like they're, very tiny, very delicate, and so on and so on. But before we touch on this topic, because I want to talk about this more, because it's very interesting characteristic, I would say, for Korean BLs. If you have any questions, just fire them. I'm checking chat from time to time. But going back to the recommendation of the day, those are the pictures, so you can get a taste of what I'm talking about. So the bottom is on the top and the top is on the bottom. So the dragon one is on the ground. So as you can see, they both look very manly, I would say. Although I don't have anything against them having more feminine traits, we are not haters or we are not king discouragers, we are king encouragers, if you would like to call it like that. So here we have the noble one, like dressed like in an ancient era. So it's also like ancient Korean history, so emperors, palaces, and this type of clothing. So you see them again in here. And here you have a little more of modern era images. So broad shoulders, they are both tall, quite masculine in terms of physics. And okay, something which usually is a good hookup. So we have six-pack, although I think he has more than six. So yeah, so you can see they're very well built. And that's a very common theme across Korean boys' love. Going back, so that was the recommendation of the day. Again, the title, Dawn of the Dragon. And I will type this into the chat so anyone can check out this later. Dawn of the Dragon. I hope this will be in print someday. It's obviously, maybe not obviously, but 18 plus title. Yeah, so it's in chat, so it's there. You don't have to wonder how to spell it based on my speech. You can find it on your own. Okay, so now switching to the midsection, where we will start reviewing those titles which I promoted before the stream. Little introduction. So expect some spoilers. I try to showcase elements which don't spoil too much, and I won't be going through all five, like in most of those cases we have 5 volumes per each. Dangerous Convenience Store, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then other 2 is 5 and 5. So I will go around 3 of them, so minor spoilers. Show some love to the YouTube short which I just released not long time ago, Novlo Zone. I think it's a very cute one. Don't forget about that. And fun fact regarding last YouTube short is you see those books. They are quite chunky, as I would like to say. So it's kind of tricky to flip them like that because it's really easy to drop them because they are quite heavy. And to achieve smooth transition, I have to take multiple takes to achieve the smoothness, and still it's not perfect. So that's something I wanted to share with all of you, although I'm not sure if it's super interesting, but I was thinking about this. I woke up today during night to use restroom, and I was like, maybe let's share this fun fact with all of you. Okay, so we have 3 manhwas in here, and I will touch on Korean BL's physics. I would say it's on another level. They are crazy about this. Hello, Marianna. Good to see you here. The physique is on another level. And why I say that? Because they have a syndrome of a third leg, how I like to call it. So the physique of a body, muscles, it's a perfect picture of perfect male in that sense, and it's a nice to your eye. It's very tempting for both males and females when it comes to that. So like a perfect image, David, like this sculpture of David. But they go overboard when it comes to the intimate parts, aka penis part. So they make it not realistic at all. And in all those three manhwas, it's the same theme. I call it a weapon at this point. I would say it would kill them if they would be doing that like this, at least at the beginning, because the power of stretch is powerful, but there are some limitations to all of that. Although there are real cases with very huge males who are very blessed, how we like to call it. But yeah, it's a little too much, especially I would say in perfect body case. In there, even like when they are dressing up and so on, I wanted to include one panel where he is dressed in the underwear and you can see it in you know, situation where it's not up and it's still huge. But that's something crazy. And Korean BLs especially are crazy about that. It's been a trend overall, big boobs with women and big penises with males. But I would say in Japanese mangas it was a little more balanced. It was not such a common case. In here it's much more. Although there's more foreplay in those mangas, I would say. So it's not like just shoving in, going in without any preparation, and you know, small hole, big tool, and this doesn't work like that. And for sure, it's not pleasurable, by no means, but it's always pleasurable in those mangas. So that's the one thing. And the second thing, which I also touched on, we don't have feminine traits when it comes to bottoms. The size is not noticeable, but not so big. You would say it's like different build. So the tops are usually more masculine, a little bit taller. Then the bottoms are more slim, like twinks you would call them, although all of them are a little older than twinks are. But still they have some muscle, they have broader shoulders, there is some mass behind them. So if you are more into that dynamic, this is for you. And I would say I don't like feminization when it comes to BLs. Of course, I read, as I said before, I read also straight, spicy manga, let's call it like that. And then it's, I would say, okay, then we have female character, which is a female and has those characteristics. But when it goes to BLs, I'm not looking for that crossover in here. Although, again, everyone likes different things and I have different types of mangas. And even if they have long hairs, sometimes tops have long hairs, it's not something what stops me from, you know, being biased and not trying to get a little bit more deeper and judge what the story is about. So that's the intro to Korean mangas and how it looks like. So let's start with Dangerous Convenience Store. And here, let's take a look. So this is our main character, I would say, a bottom, and behind we have a grumpy top. The bottom is college student. He's called Yeo Soo-jung. Works as a cashier in the title convenience store. But he works during his shift is during hours where most gangsters visit the store. So it's a little bit dangerous. As you can imagine, some of them are rude, but when it comes to our top, who is Gunwa, he has a soft spot for our cashier and is always he gives obviously the aura of mafioso and it's scary, but he is very gentle when it comes to our main character, helps him when other customers are not behaving properly, and this is like how this dynamic starts between them. But before that, the bottom, as mentioned, is a college student. He's in a relationship with some other guy from his school. He is aware about his sexual orientation and struggle with that a little bit because it's not like an Omega-verse situation. In here we have our typical homophobia from time to time, although it's not a prominent theme in here. So you cannot be so open with your relationship. Of course you can, but you risk some discrimination. This is the boyfriend, if I can even call him like that, like that's the imagination of the bottom, and that's how this guy presents himself, although I would call him a side item. So, and what does it mean? It means that he is dating other people. So he's cheating on him, he's exploiting him, comebacks contact him when it's convenient. So it's a shitty type of relationship. Beside that, we don't have a situation of some traumatic past or difficult situations when it comes to our bottom character. So in that sense, there is no trauma behind that. And moving toward our main couple, which is those two. So they start exploring their relationship and if, you know, this can work out. Although the bottom is not having too many expectations, again, because of his life experience. So he's very cautious, distant, try to not to get too involved, not to get hurt, basically. Another thing is that as a plot device, top and bottom lives next to each other. So at some point when there's a drama between bottom and let's call him his ex in front of his apartment, then the gangster comes out and he noticed that they live next to each other. And this is, you know, how it's progressing. This is how they interact more and more with each other, and the gangster find out like that he's into guys. So this is the second volume. So now in front we have the gangster, and in the bottom, in the back we have cashier. So that's a lot about the story. I won't go deeper, not to spoil you too much. In second volume, we'll have more of a struggle between ex of a bottom and our main character. He tries to fix things and so on and so on. But because of the progress when it comes to our main couple relationship, he rejects the previous boyfriend, and this is the outcome of that situation, as you can see. So our cutie is very emotionally drained at this point and looks out for comfort from our big boy. Let's call him like that. So a little more spicy scenes in here. So nothing too crazy for YouTube. Okay, this is a little too much. Then let's shift to volume 3. I showed the back of the cover, so I won't go anymore into the story. Unless you have any questions, then please go ahead. So this is the volume 3, and our main couple is in the background, and this is a new character. He is actually the co-worker, let's call him like that, of our mafioso. Because in the modern age, gangs run financial institutions or loan companies, let's call it like that. And he is the one who works they work with each other, and actually he's the son of the main mafioso, let's call it like that, because those two are not bosses. They are like directors, how they like to call them, but they are not the bosses, and obviously the son would be the natural choice as a successor, but in here this is not so much the case. The story is more complicated in that aspect. Yeah, and it will bring also some complications to our main characters. So as you can see, the entrance of side character, which will be very prominent throughout all other volumes. So he finds out and talk to our yaoi. I don't want to constantly repeat bottom, 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 but the names are just killing me. He finds out, he tries to assess what's the relationship, why our top is spending so much time with this guy, and so on and so on. So as you can imagine, there'll be some jealousy element involved. Okay, I can go through those few pages. So they had a date. He noticed some scar on his forehead, obviously beats up the person who did that to him. So protective, supportive top. I would also say I don't see red flags when it comes to dynamic of a top and bottom. There's some angst, how we call it, so painful situations, misunderstandings in this manga. It's not super sweet all the time. So this is volume 4, Cherry Blossom, and it's called Hanami. In my first stream I forgot how they call this petals falling from cherry blossom tree. It's Hanami. The event is called Hanami, and I saw it in person, and obviously in Japan and Korea there's a lot of cherry trees. I also have some of them in my garden. Maybe someday I will show you. Actually, this is the first year they are blooming because I have my garden for 2 years. Now the 3rd year. And this is the volume 5. And again, the cherry blossom. So it kind of suggests that this is like similar place, but maybe different time. Not spoiling too much. Yeah, and this is the 5th volume. And now we have the 6th volume. Again, cherry blossom tree. Again, maybe some time skipping, some timeline in here. And this is the volume 6, mature content. Again, at the beginning I mentioned this is adults only type of manga. At this point our main character is not working anymore at convenience store. He's working office job. So things changed throughout the time. What else I could add to this one? Maybe you have some questions before we switch to the next one, and I'll maybe gather some thoughts. What else could I share when it comes to the dangerous convenience store? So I mainly like this story because it was not super cliche, although we have common themes in here, but still it wasn't everything so obvious. I know what I wanted to add. So there's a 7th volume on the way. Mariana, what a great story. It makes me want to read the whole manga. Yeah, it's a very good one. It's a typical romance story, but well written. There are twists and turns. There is some sadness. I gravitate toward sad stories. I don't know, I like to hurt myself in that emotional way. It's just, brings something out of me. But coming back to print, 7 Seas Entertainment released this one. The covers really look really nice. So the quality of the paper and the book is good. It's much higher than the typical manga format, I would say. And the 7th volume is coming. Although it's more of a side stories, more of additional resources, bonus graphics, character designs. At least that's what I heard. But we'll see. I'll show it when it comes out. It's like out in a few months. What I'm also trying to say is that the main storyline is finished based on that. So, yeah. Okay, moving to the next one, which is No Love Zone. I like all of those. The Dangerous Convenience Store, I would give it 8 out of 10 when it comes to my scoring, if that's any of importance to you. It is a recommendation from me. I recommend to read it. It's one of the better ones, but also because of the physics. As I mentioned, this goes into my taste. Like I like it, like how they look like. Okay, then we have our pinkish main cover for No Love Zone by Danby. Also 7 Seas Entertainment. And this is office romance. The theme is office romance. Characters, main couple basically, share common childhood. So at some point they were going to the same school, but our bottom character doesn't recognize our top. So bottom is Lee Enkyung, cheerful, easygoing, everybody likes him, fluffy aura around him, bunny, giving off the vibes of like a bunny. And this is how we would describe him. So this is like how the story starts. So our Lee Enkyung sees the top for the first time, at least this is what he thinks about. And he is instantly in love. So this is the saying love at first sight is a cliche. He's very starved for relationship. So he wants a relationship, but he doesn't have luck and struggles when it comes to finding a love. Common theme with the previous one, where bottom is in a toxic relationship. If you could call it again like that, because if you dig deeper, would you call it a relationship? There's exploitation, money, begging. So he asks him for money as a pretext behind his family problems, and so on and so on. But he neglects the bottom, and it's not a healthy relationship. So it's a relationship, but just in a sense of a lack of a better word to describe this. You could call it situationship, but our bottom is not aware about that. And moving to the top. So top is Han Jin-hyo. And they work together. He also finds out that they are working together, and now they are in the same team. Top works bottom to the bone, and he doesn't like that, although his physics is something he greatly enjoys, and because of that tries to pursue the top. But top is a little bit cold towards bottom because he knows who he is. He recognized him immediately. He was in love with him since his school days. But unfortunately, our bottom is heavily attracted towards physique, not so much who the person is, for who they are. Yeah, so he likes the top physiques, but hates his personality. So as you can see, my type. So they try to get to know each other. It's a little bit cat and mouse situation, so cat chasing a mouse, although now bottom is chasing top. This dynamic will revert a little bit later on, because it's like this evil arc where top is trying, to make bottom suffer for ignoring him when he was younger. But you will see in a second why the bottom was not so attracted towards top. Bottom lives together with his family. He has 2 younger siblings. Also, author is using those siblings as point of attractions, because he draws them as a very cute additions to this story, as you can see. Rajan Parash, girl, where can I get these books? I'm obsessed with manhwas. There is a stream with me unboxing things, live stream. and I'm already collecting things for the next one. So as you can see, there's a hint where you can get them. I get them from Amazon. This is my main source of not income, but where I get my mangas from. This is the cheapest place for me, at least. I don't live in English-speaking countries, so my native language is different one, and mangas are printed on site in here in different language. Although it's much cheaper, I don't enjoy them in my native language. I enjoy them in English. And yeah, that's why I ordered them through Amazon. Yeah. And I would recommend that to everyone because some people are actually looking for mangas in their native language, and Amazon could also be some option. So in here, we went to the same school. So this is the reveal when the top reveals that they went to the same school. So at some point, the top start looking very good. His physics, he had his, like, how they call it, growth sprout. So he, you know, his physique exploded from this to this. No, I mean, yeah, I kind of noticed by the name, or at least that was my assumption. And I work a lot with Indian colleagues. So nice to see you here. Lovely to have you here. Yeah, and as you can see, the top is more of a bookworm, but he also expressed this aura of excelling at everything in this case. So our bottom is not so great at doing things at office, but then we have the top who is, you know, great at all of those things. When it comes to dangerous convenience store, it's not a prominent theme. In here, it is something that is prominent. So just for your attention. Yeah, so here we have the confession from the school days. And it's not a case where bottom was treating the top in a bad way. He treated him actually kindly, and that's why he got attracted to the bottom character, because other peoples were not so kind to him because of how he looked like. As you can imagine, children can be extremely cruel, more than adults. So yes, so that's not like entirely wrong on the bottom side, and this is why it's chasing, as I said, cat and mouse. First it's bottom chasing top when they are adult, but because of how much top is pushing bottom, he will break a little bit at some point and start to reject and ignore the top, and this is where the dynamic will shift, as you can imagine. So they will have their intimate moment before that happens, but this is, like, I would say, close to the breaking point where the dynamic is changing between them. And then the top, you know, start to mellow down, start to proactively pursue the bottom character. Do I have anything else to add regarding the storyline? Again, if you have any questions. Okay, Haruka, is there negative love? Could you explain what you mean by negative love? In terms, are they toxic to each other? Red flags in terms of, like, it's abusive relationship. When it comes to abusive relationship, as I mentioned at the beginning, with no love zone, the bottom character is in abusive relationship with his, let's call him a boyfriend, the guy in here. And it's a similar theme when it comes to the dangerous convenience store. Bottoms are in not good relationship for them mentally, and it's in here, it's also a financial aspect because he's asking for money, the other guy. And on the left one, there's a lot of cheating and side characters who he betrays. But when it comes to main couple, no, I wouldn't say, like, it's, you know, a play, flirting at the beginning when, as I mentioned, the top character is, you know, trying to make bottom suffer for how he treated him during their school days, but it's nothing crazy. So it's more of a redemption arc in a sense, but nothing toxic. So I wouldn't even say there are yellow flags, I would still say it's green flags. Okay. So unfortunately I didn't bookmark too much in Now Love Zone because I was running out of time. As I mentioned, it takes quite some time to prepare, so this is the second volume. Mature 18 plus. Oh, that's an interesting thing which I wanted to say before, okay, I could show a little bit. Let's do it very slowly because the second panel is not so YouTube friendly, but this is the cute scene from volume 2. I kinda know Love Zone. I have no Love Zone. Okay, that's cool. Good for you. I hope you like it. So yeah, there's a lot of this fluffy romance type of story because the bottom is fluffy type, as I mentioned before. And again, before I forget or my short-term memory loss kicks in, those manhwas, at least 2 of them, I don't remember if it's the same for Dangerous Convenience Store, they are not censored. So you can see intimate parts, not a lightsaber as we like to call them. They are drawn in more details or less details, but English version, because that's also a keyword, because it's also sometimes for Japanese prints, English versions are less censored in some cases. And why is that? It's like that because in Japan there are strict policies when it comes to censorship, and they can, you know, get to the wider audience and sell them without bigger restrictions when it comes to lightsabers. If there are lightsabers, it's safer. So yeah, in volume 2 you can see they are already more lovely-dovely situation. And physiques are more realistic. As I mentioned, Perfect Body is the one which goes crazy when it comes to intimate part. So you have a side story which connects to the volume 5 in here, when they are hybrids between animals and humans. Okay, so that's the volume 2. So let's go with the cover. I really like the story in the manga, Marianna. Was there anything in particular what you enjoyed? Was there like perfect, did you like any scene or situation which happened? So this is volume 3, Danby, story and art by Danby. And a lot of chibi situations in this manga. So you have chibi characters. And then we move to volume 4. So this one is more easygoing when it comes to the story. Less painful situation comparing to Dangerous Convenience Store and Perfect Body. So if you have very soft heart and you don't want any sad stories, then this one is the one you should stick with. And again, chibis. Enkyun the rabbit lives a peaceful life with his younger brother and sister until the day they bring home a tiger. The cat may be cute, but he's hungry for Enkyun. He is hungry for his carrot. Let's call it like that. Okay, so we can show you a little bit. So this is the tiger form, the small and the big form, and this is the rabbit form, and this is how they kind of, you know, poof into human forms. Yeah, it was a very cute story. when it comes to this bonus story. So yeah, the siblings again, magnet for cute things. What else I could show you? There's a lot of crying. That's another thing. The bottom cries a lot in here. If you are into it, then you are in for a treat. If you don't like it, then then it's not for you. Mariana, I'm going to try to read this manga because I haven't looked at it. Yeah, this is exactly why I do those series, to showcase some titles. You know, you can read many of those things on internet, but also some people purchase volumes, and there are so many titles at the moment that it's very difficult to keep up with all of them. So you have to be more selective, especially when you have limited budget. And this is also what I started to do. I'm not buying everything anymore because it's too much, too many of them. And unfortunately, it looks like the printing companies are not so eager to, you know, send some promotional volumes to review and to showcase them. Okay, we have some more comments. So Ragno, here you are. Did you have here you are? I don't know. I don't recognize this title. Here you are. Could you share more details? Who printed it? Is it like Tokyo Pop, Seven Seas Entertainment? Mariana, they look so cute. Yes, they look very cute. Very, very cute. Yeah, and a little more. So Top also have a good relationship with the siblings. So he takes good care of them, very protective, trying to look after them. And this is where Top and Bottom met when they were children. And again, so it's a theme. So the Top is attracted to Bottom since childhood because how good he treated him. Although there was no love interest at that point, like Top was in love, but the Bottom was just kind to the other character. Okay, I won't spoil you more because you have to find out by yourself. There's also a side story or bonus story at the end, like going back to our real life. And yeah. And there's also this ending. I'm not sure if I should tell you. Maybe not ending, this text. I don't exactly remember where was it. Yeah, this ending, like I really liked it, and I told you that I will have some spoilers. So time passed through flowering spring and now snowy winter, until another spring arrived. There are those who say they saw tiger-like rabbits on those warm spring days, and those who say they saw rabbit-like tigers. So it suggests that, you know, they had children. Yeah, always something to look out for. But maybe it's just a rumor, folklore rumor. So that's it for No Love Zone. If you have any questions regarding No Love Zone, please feel free to ask. Let's put this cover in here so you can enjoy some background. And we will be moving to Perfect Body in a second. Okay. Also, I didn't say that. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Sharing, maybe not so much. If it's possible, then cool. But the most important is liking and subscribing. It helps a lot. Okay. Moving to the Perfect Body. So Perfect Body, again, 18 plus. Crazy third leg physique when it comes to the top. The top is on the left and the bottom is on the right. Okay, let's put it in the center for now. It's a romance, office romance type of story, similar to the middle one, No Love Zone. No Love Zone. There's also a romance, office romance story. Again, cat and mouse type of story. So top is chasing after the bottom. Maybe not in such an obvious flirtatious way where you would expect like, oh, be my bride, marry me, he comes with flowers, ask for the dates. This is not what I mean, although the dynamic is like that. So the bottom is more closed in. He has difficult backstory. No childhood trauma, but office work trauma. So his sexuality, although he denies it at the beginning, he just claims that he hooks up with men pure out of curiosity, and then it became a thing, although he's never satisfied. There was an instance where those kind of details popped up at his workplace, and this is where his trauma comes from. So he's very closed type. He's perfectionist. He wants everything to be tip-top on schedule. And the background of the story, this company they work together in, is a company which publish prestigious men's magazine. So it's a little bit of a vibe, like you have those vloggers who show you a lifestyle, how they dress up, perfumes, pitch perfect picture. This is how I would portray the bottom character. So he is exuding this perfection image, doing things efficiently, neatly, cleanly, and so on and so on. So he's very emotionally unavailable, and he's called Seo Hyun-sun. He's design team lead. The top is Baek Young-chan, planning team lead. So they work in different departments, although there are correlations. Again, they release a magazine together. So you can imagine they have different specializations, but at the end of the day, they have to collaborate with each other. They constantly fight with each other, because they have different characters. The top is cheerful, outgoing, emotionally available, very positive, affecting people around him like that. And the bottom is opposite in that sense, but still very respectful and professional. We have another comment. Marianna, I have things to do, so I'll watch the other live stream next week. Okay, so thank you, bye-bye, thank you for coming. Arsti definitely gonna read. So constantly fighting with each other, and how they kick off this relationship, start being attracted to each other. So the bottom guy goes to the bathroom, and then he hears some sounds in the stall room space, however you call it, so where the toilet is. And the top guy is pleasuring himself in there, in a sense, masturbate, and it becomes the point of discussion and starting point for their naughty relationship. So let's go through the book. So this is the main cover, and again you can see this sense of perfect male, perfect dress in a sense of a suit, a watch, perfume, hairstyle, like this alpha male situation, which is kind of popular in these days, which you would typically assign to heterosexual men. So here's some why I'm showing this one, because I wanted to show you this dynamic of this perfection. So he has those scented soaps and so on. It becomes a little important during the story because both of them notice those things, and they will highlight them throughout the story. That's why those details are important, and that's why I spend so much time talking about them and bringing this to your attention. So you can see this perfect picture behavior. And moving on. But it creates some barriers at the end of the day between him and people. This comes from his experience and trauma. That's why he builds this professionalism barrier between him and others, so they don't bother him at the end of the day. So they go obviously to those dinners, company dinners, and this is where they start to talk with each other, although bottom doesn't enjoy those outings, and top notices that and tries to, you know, comfort a little bit or easy up the situation. And there's this work culture in Japan and Korea, when your boss or manager pours you alcohol, you have to drink it. So he drinks for him. He encounters his colleagues from previous workspace, and there's this tension. At some point they will all go to the company outing, like a trip, and it will create some tensions. And again, the top will try to protect the bottom a little bit, or move the focus point onto him. Yeah, so again, a little more physique. So we can see perfect body, perfect six-pack. Koreans love it. Korean mangakas. Okay, so there's one more picture which I wanted to show you. So as you can see, they also fight with each other all the time, and this pulling hairs theme is quite common. Yeah, so this is volume 1. It's very funny in a sense. There's a lot of humor in this one, much more, I would say, than previous 2. In here you have this lady who becomes a friend of our bottom character at some point. She later on you find out she is like a daughter of CEO, but she doesn't want other people to think that she got her position through connections. And it's also a similar case for our main character, although he's not a son of any prominent person, but still how professional he is and does not rely on others. He also, people gossip about him. Fun fact, our top has a sister, and she's also very athletic, because another theme in here is that he works out a lot, and this expressed with his physique. Yeah, you can see more fighting with each other. All moves allowed in that sense, and I don't have more things to show from volume 3, because it's quite spicy, so there's a lot of spicy moments in those. I would say this one is the most spicy out of 3, so that's also interesting information for all of you if you look for something more heated. But I would say it's connected to the third leg of our top character, and by third leg I hope you know what I mean. Yeah, so this is the volume 5. So we are through all of those volumes. I think the 5th cover is my favorite. The first one or the third one, The first one or the third or the fifth one are my favorite ones when it comes to covers. Yes, so this is it for manga review section. Yeah, and that's not all when it comes to my Korean BLs, because there's much more behind this pile of mangas, which I will show you in a second, although we won't be going through them unless there will be a specific request from the chat. But there is more. There is the new recruit. I would say it's very similar theme when it comes to those three titles which we seen today. Let me move camera a little bit closer just to give you a sneak peek. So also this fluffy vibe coming from the bottom character, but we'll take a closer look on the other stream when it comes to that one. And as you can see, even Low Tide and Twilight, Painter of the Night, Rose and Champagne, they all have manly couples, let's say it like that. So those guys have manly traits, not so many feminine traits. Okay, so that's all when it comes to what I had prepared. Next stream, or one of the next streams, because I don't know if the one which will be next, it's not, I did not decide yet when it will happen and what hour, but during the next stream we will go through shelves. So each stream will be dedicated to one shelf. And just to give you a special sneak peek, let's zoom out a little bit. So you are the first ones who see what's going on with the collection. So going from the left, so we have, so it looks like this, like the middle of the shelf, of the bookshelf, and then we go up, and there's more. So yeah, so this is the second half of the shelf, and this is what we have in here. And there's a small sneak peek to the right side, which I'm just running out of space, and we have also BLs in this area and some of them in this area, but here we have also other type of mangas and comics. I don't know how many people are watching Invincible at the moment, because let me show you 1 second. Maybe one of the off-topic streams will do some other topics. So here I have a Funko Pop Invincible figure. Okay, so that's it of the sneak peeks and giveaway. We still have a giveaway pending, and one of the streams, let me check the name, the stream. These BLs went viral, was it luck or something more? I think in this one we have a giveaway. So if you want to win one of the mangas, which I showcase, which I showed the stack of mangas which are up for a giveaway, you have to leave a comment, like, and one of the live streams I will share the winner of the giveaway. No charges, everything is on me, so you need just to provide the address when you win the shuffle, and I will send you a manga. Okay, everyone, unless there are any last minute questions, we'll be finishing this live stream. I thank all for comments, likes, subscribes, and everyone who made some time to join. It's always very nice and uplifting, and motivates me to keep on going with those live streams. Okay, 1 minute and then we'll finish, if there'll be no questions. Okay, there's a question. Arsti, excuse me, is killing stalking worth reading? It's a bittersweet experience. I would say it's interesting approach. It's not something for people with weak stomach, as I would say. It's very twisted, very dark, very gore. But as I mentioned on one of the live streams, at the end of the story, you kinda want them to have a happy ending. And I believe it's because the story is good. So because of that, it speaks for itself in a sense. So I would recommend to read it if the dark type of story is something you are into. But it's not a fluffy, simple story. There are multiple shades to the story. It's not black and white, and it's up to you to decide you know, if they should have a happy ending or not. But it left an impression on me. So in that sense, yeah. And again, Koreans, Kogi, they have the top at least look very manly, but when it comes to bottom, he's more on a feminine side. But it also plays into the story. So there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of murder. So you have to be aware about this. It's 18 plus title. Okay. Any other question? Okay, no questions. Just in case if something will pop up, you can always leave a comment. I reply to all of the comments. I read them, I reply as earnestly as possible. They make me very happy if they are nice, obviously, but most of them are nice. So our community is quite positive, and that's a fortunate thing. Knowing that this is maybe not so popular theme for everyone. But anyway, I wish you a great rest of the day. Happy Easter. For some people it's a little bit earlier, for some people it's a little bit later. I'm a new subscriber, by the way. I'm happy to see you. I also look for the subscribers every day, like check them if we have more, if we have less. And obviously if we lose subscribers, it's painful for me. If we have more, then I'm happy about that. So welcome. Yeah, and happy to see you. Oh, I'm super happy about new faces and old faces. Okay, then yeah, then that's it for sure. See you next time, probably in few days, because I try to keep some kind of schedule, so and try to find out the perfect time. So if it was too late or too early for you, please write also in the comment. I will take that into account, because based on statistics from YouTube, it doesn't work like that. I tried the time when we were supposed to have the most activity, and there was the least people, and then I tried other way around, and then we had more people. So it's a mess. Anyway, wish you lovely rest of the day. Bye bye.